Namaste, welcome to our channel Qubit Educational Services. I'm Pranesh, the founder of the channel and an IISER Bangalore alumnus. In this video, we are going to talk about the most likely MCQ topics from physics for IISER Aptitude Test 2023, which is about to take place in 10 or 12 days time. Before we go to the physics MCQs, let me tell you, if you are new to our channel, that our YouTube channel is the only channel that is providing free solutions, detailed solutions to previous year's questions of the IISER Aptitude Test from 2017 onwards, as well as the entrance test for the NIISER, that is National Entrance Screening Test. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, then please do that. You can go to this link to subscribe to our channel. In addition to detailed solutions to PYQs, we're also providing 5 free mock tests, which can be accessed from any device, including your mobile, laptop, desktop, iPhone. You can access them from any device. You don't need to install anything for that. Once you successfully complete the test, you'll get to see the detailed solutions of that particular test, which will cover the problem statement, the correct option, the option that you marked, and the solution. And these solutions are accessible till the actual exam date of the IISER Aptitude Test 2023. If you have still not yet signed up for the test series, here is how you can do that. You need to first go to our website www.qubitpune.com. Then you need to click on test series. If you are accessing the website from your mobile, then once you visit qubitpune.com, you will see a square with 3 horizontal lines. You need to touch there, then this menu will open. You have to touch the test series. You will be redirected to another page, which will look like this. Here you need to enter your name, your email ID, your mobile number. Please don't enter fake names. The system is not going to approve your account. Okay. And then in the exam type, if you touch or click there, a drop down menu will open and you have to select IISER. Don't select any other exam. Select IISER and then just click on submit. It will display a message, registration successful. Please contact administrator for account activation. So once the registration is successful, you will receive an email in your mailbox of your registered email ID and a WhatsApp message to the sign in link. And then you can access all the tests. Okay, now let's begin the actual video topic. Most likely topics for IISER Aptitude Test 2023 Physics. Just a quick recap. You might be knowing that there will be 15 questions from physics. As the number of questions is smaller than the number of actual chapters that are there, combining the 11th and 12th physics syllabus and NCERT syllabus, they often mix the concepts from 2 different topics and frame a question. I am expecting around 3 questions of that particular kind, and to demonstrate what I mean by questions with mixed concepts, here are some demonstrations. If you take a look at this MCQ from 2022, which reads, a uniform taut string with 2 point charges Q and negative Q attached to its ends passes over 2 massless pulleys kept L distance apart as shown. If F is the fundamental frequency of the part of the string over the pulleys, that means this part, which of the following statements is correct? And then there are some options. Now please understand that to solve this problem, you are not only required to know the ideas from waves and oscillations, okay, waves and oscillations, but in addition to that, you are also required to know Coulomb's law, which is from electrostatics. Okay, because in order to calculate the tension in the string, you first need to know the force of attraction between the charge Q and the charge negative Q. That is what I call questions with mixed concepts. So if you are not used to these, please get used to these by looking at the PYQ solutions. Let's see 2 more examples. 49th from 2021. A capacitor of capacitance C consists of 2 large parallel metal plates. The coefficient of linear expansion of the metal is alpha. What is the change in the capacitance if the temperature of the plates rises by delta T while the gap between the plates is kept fixed? Again, you see here there are 2 topics. Number one, you of course are required to know the formula for the capacitance of the parallel plate capacitor, epsilon naught A by T. Okay, so that is electrostatics, our 12th physics chapter 2, electric potential and capacitance. But then you are also required to know what coefficient of linear expansion means, which is a topic from thermal properties of matter, 11th physics chapter, right? And to solve this particular problem, you are also required to know the relation between the coefficient of linear expansion and the coefficient of areal expansion, right? So again, a problem which combines concepts from electrostatics, from capacitance, and from thermal properties of matter. One more example from 2019, which combines concepts from kinetic theory and dual nature. Neutral gas molecules, each of mass m, are at a temperature T in a container at zero gravity. How does the average de Broglie wavelength lambda of a molecule depend on T? Now, we all know that the de Broglie wavelength lambda is given by h by p or h by mp, correct? And from kinetic theory, we know that the speed or RMS speed is actually related to temperature. So that's how we are actually composing two functions, lambda as a function of velocity or speed and speed as a function of temperature, right? That's what they have asked us. So a composite function, wavelength as with the independent variable temperature, right? So again, they have mixed concepts from kinetic theory of gases and from dual nature of radiation and matter. All right, so you can expect 2 or max 3 questions. That's what I've seen from the previous year's questions. 2 or 3 questions max for physics. Acha. Now what I've done is I've gone through all the papers that are available so far for physics. Okay, so there have been 6 editions of this exam, and for 2022 I had 2 different sets. So there are overall 7 papers available. So total number of questions is 105. To see what each question was from, you can visit the link in the description. There is a Google sheet which I have prepared, wherein you will get to see what was the 3rd question from 2017, 15th question from 2018, so on and so forth, right? So here is the summary. The summary, I have arranged the topics in the descending order of the number of questions. The first 5 that I have highlighted in red color are the ones that are very frequent in the IISER Aptitude test so far, which are electrostatics, mechanics, current electricity, dual nature of radiation and matter, and nuclei. Well, you can see that the main topics are electrostatics and mechanics. So out of 105 questions, 32 or slightly more than that, because of the mixed concept thing, they are based on electrostatics and mechanics. So these are the topics that you have to focus on, or you have to study them very well, and then the other topics will follow: current electricity, dual nature, nuclei, and then there are other topics like gravitation, kinetic theory of gases, laws of motion, of course, is in combination with mechanics, and then magnetic fields due to electric current, so on and so forth. Okay, you may pause the video and go through this particular sheet. Based on this, I have this predicted IISER Aptitude Test 2023 physics paper. We are expecting, or I am expecting rather, 3 MCQs from electrostatics and current electricity. So these MCQs you can expect from the first 3 chapters of 12th physics, which are electric charges and electric fields, number 1, then electric potential and capacitance, number 2, and the third one is electric current through conductors. Okay, so you can expect 3 questions roughly from electrostatics and current electricity. Then the next important section is mechanics. I'm expecting 3 questions from mechanics also, and this will be, of course, you need to use laws of motion as well to solve any mechanics problem, considering it as a dynamics problem. If it is a kinematics problem like projectile motion or circular motion or rectilinear motion, overlapping of 2 rectilinear motions, then well, you may not require Newton's laws of motion, but still. So these are the chapters 3, 4, 5 and 6 from 11th physics. What are they? motion in 1 dimensions, motion in 2 dimensions, laws of motion, and work, energy, and power, which will also cover friction and energy conservation and so on and so forth. Now, in particular for mechanics, what I have observed is there has always been one MCQ on the topic called angular momentum. If you see any paper, you'll always find one or sometimes rarely two questions from which involve or which ask you to determine the angular momentum or something related to angular momentum. Okay, so please revise angular momentum very well. They might also ask you to calculate the angular momentum of a planet revolving around a star, body performing circular motion, or they might also ask you relative angular momentum of one body with respect to other. Okay, so what is the formula for angular momentum? L bar is R bar cross P bar in usual notations. Right, so this is the concept or the term that they like the most, at least the ones that have been there from 2017 to 2022. If you see the paper, you'll always find a question on angular momentum. Okay, then in mechanics you can also expect a mixture of the normal mechanics problem and gravitation. Okay, so this could either be a potential function will be given to you. Being a conservative force, you have to determine the force, work done, anything of that kind. Okay, so out of 15, I'm expecting 6 questions from these two sections only: electrostatics and current electricity and mechanics. And in mechanics also, I'm expecting a question on angular momentum. Acha. Now let us go to next topics. I'm expecting 2 questions from modern physics. In modern physics, there are 3 chapters from 12th physics, which are dual nature of radiation and matter, then atoms and nuclei. Even in atoms and nuclei, I've seen more questions from the nuclei part, that's radioactivity, decay rate, half-life, average life, that kind of things. Okay, but I'm not saying that only radioactive will come. Okay, they might also ask you questions from atoms. There have been questions on the Bohr model, okay, a photoelectric effect, and so on and so forth. And also we just saw a question on the Broglie wavelength, right, mixed with kinetic theory of gases. Okay, so I'm expecting 2 questions from modern physics. So out of 15, 8 are already covered. So almost 50% of the physics gets covered if you do this part very well: modern physics, mechanics, and electrostatics. Okay, let's continue. Acha. The other part from electromagnetism is magnetic fields due to electric current, then magnetism and matter, electromagnetic induction and alternating current or AC circuits. I'm expecting 2 questions from this. Okay, I've not seen any question asked related to magnetism and matter, let's say terrestrial magnetism or the types of magnetisms, paramagnetism, ferromagnetism, diamagnetism, and so on. But who knows, they might also ask you a question on that. But based on the past data, we are expecting 2 questions from magnetic fields. So it could either be electromagnetic induction AC circuits combined, or it could be, let's say there was a question like this: there was a solenoid carrying a current and there was also a current carrying wire, and they had asked us to determine magnetic field somewhere inside the solenoid. Okay, again a mixed concept problem: magnetic field due to solenoid and magnetic field due to infinitely long wire. Alright, so you can expect questions from those. One more thing, you need not always expect inductor and capacitor with an AC source. You can also expect, there have been questions on those. There are RLC elements, there is a resistor, there is an inductor, and there is a capacitor, and a battery is there, not an AC source, a DC source. So what will happen to that? So you have to understand by applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law or the loop rule. Okay. Next, I'm expecting 1 or 2 questions from thermodynamics. And in thermodynamics, I'm not saying just thermodynamics. In thermodynamics, there are 3 chapters. What are they? The first one is thermal properties of matter. The second chapter is thermodynamics itself, and the third chapter is kinetic theory of gases. Right? We all, again, coming back to that, there was a combined question from kinetic theory of gases and the Broglie wavelength. Yes. So I'm expecting at least one question from thermodynamics part, the heat part. If you're lucky enough, then there will be 2 questions from thermodynamics. Now, lastly, I'm expecting one question from either waves or from oscillations or simple harmonic motion, which are chapter number 14 and 15 respectively from 11th. And I'm also expecting one question from units and dimensions. And you should definitely do this particular chapter, units and dimensions. Because having studied everything from 11th physics and from 12th physics, you know very well what each quantity means in the respective context, right? And you can also relate those quantities with our common quantities like momentum, force, torque, velocity, and so on and so forth, right? So you will now have a better vision, a better understanding of the dimensions and the units. Okay, there have been questions on dimensions of a given quantity in term, or the expression of a given quantity in terms of the fundamental constants like the Planck's constant, the speed of light, the permittivity, permeability, so on and so forth. Okay, so you should now revisit units and dimensions, although you may be knowing what those constants are, and how they're related to each other and how they define 1 meter, 1 second and other things, but you just go through it one more time. All right. Okay. And parampara pradishta anushasan, so there will be one question from optics. It could either be from wave optics, interference, diffraction, polarization, Brewster's law, Young's double slit experiment, single slit diffraction, or it could be from ray optics, mirrors, plane mirrors, concave mirrors, convex mirrors, or lenses or devices like simple microscope, compound microscope, or telescope. Okay, one question we are expecting from optics. Okay, now see, this is what we understand from the past papers, and because the pattern has more or less remained constant, we are expecting the same thing to repeat in the 2023 edition of the paper, right? So to summarize, 3 questions from electrostatics and current electricity, 3 from mechanics. Don't forget angular momentum, just do it. Okay, L bar is equal to R bar cross P bar. Then 2 questions from modern physics and the magnetism part with AC circuits, 1 or 2 questions from thermodynamics, 1 question each from optics, units and dimensions, and waves and oscillations. So I guess this makes it 14 or 15. But again, there are some other topics also which we have not yet covered here, but the questions from those are very rare, like mechanical properties of solids or mechanical properties of fluids. Okay, I remember only one question, and it is in 2017 physics. I guess it's the first or the second one, where we have a support and there are 2 wires attached and then there is a load here. Okay, so you just need to know the basics: what is stress, what is strain, the relation between them, Hooke's law, strain energy, so on and so forth. Then electromagnetic waves, I've not seen many questions from electromagnetic waves, displacement current. Okay, so there are many other topics also, but predominantly it is electrostatics, mechanics, thermodynamics, optics, and so on. Okay, then there are some questions from semiconductors also, right? Very basic concepts like the difference between the Zener diode and the PN junction diode, the VI characteristic and the forward and the reverse bias mode, amount of doping, depletion region. Okay, there is one more question which is very frequently raised: what is the source material? From what material should we prepare? I will recommend you only the official study material, that is the previous year's questions and the NCERT textbooks. Okay, now in physics NCERT textbooks, they have given summaries at the end of the chapter, so you should go through the summary. Okay, and then there are some more points to ponder. Okay, just go through them, give them a thought. Who knows, 1 or 2 questions might come from the points to ponder section also, right? You'll get enough supplementary material on the web, but just go through those points to ponder thing. Then there are very good solved examples in NCERT, and there are some additional exercises for every chapter. Okay, if you see the NCERT, they mainly have numericals at the end for physics, correct? Then let's say the first half of the exercise is based on just simple substitution based formula problems, and then after that slightly advanced level problems are there. Like I can remember one thing, there are capacitor plates here and then electron is shot here. Okay, then what will be the trajectory, how long will it be in that particular region, how long will it take to come out, what will be the deflection, what will be the trajectory. Okay, combining mechanics and electrostatics. Okay, yes, then NCERT exemplars are also a very good source of MCQs, for a very good source of questions. They can also convert a theory question into a multiple choice question, so just go through them. In particular, the chapters that we discussed here, the first three, electrostatics, current, electricity, mechanics and modern physics. Don't forget angular momentum. Okay, don't forget angular momentum. Yes, so that's it. That's what I wanted to discuss in this particular video. If you have any queries, you can mail them to me on these two email IDs, any one of them. And I've already uploaded a video on the most likely topics from mathematics. I will highly recommend you to watch that particular video also to boost your confidence in the IISER Aptitude Test 2023. Thank you for watching, and if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, then please do that. All the best. Thank you.